live. We're live. Hey, everyone. We'll give it a couple minutes to see if people come in. But we're live. We're live, Crystal. We did
Hey,
it.
Regina. We are live. I'm so excited.
Yes, yeah. So I'm Regina Alison, CEO of Research Pro. You may have seen me live before. Research Pro is my prospect development consulting firm. I'm live today with my friend and colleague, Christal Cherry of the Board Pros. Say hi again, Crystal.
Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to see you today.
Yeah, so we decided to go live to kind of spill the tea, as it were, drop the 411 about our upcoming session, Smart Boards, Big Gifts.
Yes, that's
So,
right.
yes, looking
The
forward to
intersection
that.
of prospect development and board governance.
Absolutely. So I feel like I've been sharing this as like the mashup of all mashups, like the Board Pro and Research Pro coming together, and we're going to have a good time.
Regina, I've been following you for years since your TED Talk, and I have been a big fan. So I'm so excited to be doing this workshop, this webinar with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise. So we've been connected for a few years now, and I am a fan. You're in Atlanta, Georgia,
I
correct? That's
am.
what I've been telling people. Okay, good. So,
It's a
uh,
beautiful day today, too.
how's the weather? Is it warm?
It's gorgeous. It's probably in the low 70s.
Okay, okay. It's nice and sunny here in Columbus, Ohio, but it's chilly. It's like
Okay.
that sunshine is deceptive. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so I'm a big fan of yours as well, and really glad that we were able to coordinate, find some time on the calendar to come together, put our heads together, and create some content that will be really helpful and help move the needle for some organizations. Um,
Yes. For some board members and board chairs and fundraisers and the whole crew.
Yes. So before I forget, let me make sure that we share the name Smart
Yes.
Boards Big Gifts, which is taking place on April 23rd
Yes.
at 2 p.m. Eastern. The registration link is in the description, the video description, so you can grab that there and save your seat for and join us on April 23rd at 2 p.m.
Yes. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to bring the sunshine on April 23rd for $49. You're going to hear how boards can help raise money for their organizations. And I know that is a huge question that I get all the time, Regina. So I'm ready to jump right in.
Yeah, so speaking of questions, what are some common challenges that people come to you with as it relates to their board? What are they typically challenged by, or what's that pain point?
Yeah, there's three pain points that I get most often. The first is board recruitment, trying to find the right board members to sit on your board. These days, focusing on who's in my community, what voices are missing that I need to have on my board to round it out so that all voices are heard. So, board recruitment is definitely a huge, huge pain point for a lot of my clients. Of course, board engagement, how to keep our board members engaged in between board meetings, keeping them involved in the life of the organization. And then the last big one, Regina, as you know, is fundraising and
Yes.
helping my board to understand their role in fundraising and the importance of bringing in funds. And this is a collective effort and not just the fundraiser's job, not just the CEO's job, but the board's job as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that like diversifying the board and bringing in new blood, as it were, do you find that that is top of mind for many organizations?
Yeah, and I think what's happening is they realize the world is changing, and so to have an organization serving, a group of, Hispanic teenage girls, and not to have anyone from that community on the board is an injustice to that community. And so they're really looking around to say, okay, wait a minute, we got to do something here, and we got to find the right folks who are skilled and qualified, but who are from that community who can bring those needs front and center to the rest of us who may not be proximate to that community. So yes, absolutely. And I think having a conversation with the first person that you're going to bring in, whether it's the first woman or the first Latina, the first person of color, the first Black person, is always the tough conversation to have. And so we're going to talk about that in our webinar on the 23rd. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation with you and our guests.
I love that. So many organizations they absolutely shy away from that and having very candid conversations about what that first experience might be like, not only for the person you're bringing in, but for the organization as well.
Exactly, because you don't want that person to feel tokenized. And yet
Yes.
the organization has to be ready to receive. If they're going to bring in someone who has a different background, they need to make sure that the community is ready to hear those voices. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. What are the ways that prospect development supports board governance?
Oh, so many ways. So many
So many ways. Give me a couple ways.
Yeah. So like even from like the very start throughout the entire donor cycle, like we could take a look at that. Even from the very beginning of identification. So you kind of talked about it already. Like who are the people that should be, who are the additional voices and who can be an advocate, who can represent some
Mhm.
of these different communities or who wants to be an advocate, etc. So that identification piece, even at the very beginning, you can infuse prospect research and prospect development to help you begin to identify the right people for your board and for board service. And then obviously, as we're identifying people, then we get into the qualification. So,
Mhm.
like, yeah, here's someone that meets different criteria, but are they really qualified? Whether or not that's by gift capacity, affinity, etc., affiliation with different organizations and resources, etc. So that qualification piece is really important. And then, there's like oftentimes fundraisers will come to us, and ask to do the due diligence research. So if you're bringing someone to the board, you want to make sure that there's no negative news. So we always think about, so you gave the example of someone, of an organization that is serving Hispanic girls, so then you would certainly do your due diligence to make sure that person doesn't have negative news as or negative experiences, etc., as it relates to working with children
Yes.
or working with, you want to make sure that um, their community affiliations align with an organization like yours, you
Right.
know. So you wouldn't be, so what comes to mind is like you wouldn't bring someone, this is an extreme example and I'm going to age myself. But if it's like an organization that serves women and girls or women and girls of color, then you wouldn't bring in the president of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. You know what I'm saying? That would not be.
No, you would not.
Like it's so obvious, but you would do your due diligence to make sure that that person's affiliations align.
But you
Yeah.
know what? Now you bring up a good point because somebody will see somebody who, who may be affluent or who they think has a lot of connections and they're more interested and excited about that piece. Oh God, he's someone who knows a lot of people, or he's a vice president, or he's a president of a bank, or president of some kind of some major group, and you think, oh, we got to have him on our board. But you really need to do your due diligence, like you said,
Yeah.
and check that person out. Just because they have a high position
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're not going to bring some controversy and bring some heat, right? And that's definitely something you want to stay away from. So you want to make sure that person is not only a voice from that community, but that they're qualified and they don't bring the drama with them that's going to keep people distracted from from the work of
Yes.
the board, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be great. I'm excited and ready to have this conversation. And I'm hoping and praying that folks will come and engage with us because I think this is one that's really needed.
Yeah.
And if I have one more client that asks me, how do I get my board engaged in fundraising? How do I get my board engaged in prospecting and understand, the folks that we should have at the table and how to cultivate relationships with them?
Yeah.
If I had $1 for every one of them, I'd be a millionaire. So this is just going to be a good conversation, Regina. I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. So I'm like, I'm biting my tongue because I want to go into the
I
content.
know we don't want to give too much away, right? We don't want to give too much away, but we're
Exactly.
gonna have some good juicy dialogue and a case study for us to talk about, and so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be juicy.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
So make sure you register
that's
those
right.
that catch us live, or if you're on the replay. And if you're on the replay, like, maybe you can add a comment replay so I know that you watched it later.
Yeah,
But we're going to have a good time on April 23rd. The registration link is in the video description. So I encourage you to grab your seat today, save your seat
that's
today,
right.
so that
Come
you
on
don't
in.
miss out on it. Yeah, come on in, come on in. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time, but you're gonna learn some things too. Like, we're having fun, but
Yes,
you'll also get some. You'll learn some things, get some great gems and all of that, some good nuggets and some takeaways from both Regina, Research Pro, as well as Christal, and the Board Pro. So we are giving some things away as well.
all
So I'm
right.
excited about that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, Gina. I'll see you on the
Okay,
23rd.
we've done it, and I'll see everybody on the 23rd.
All right.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, Crystal.
Okay, take care.